Hello and welcome to Crooked House Gaming. Here at Crooked House Gaming, we like to explore the gameplay of simulation games, usually through a series of Let's Plays. In this episode, we will explore the gameplay of Democracy 4. Democracy 4 is a political sim that lets you choose the role of a world leader and govern a country. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, welcome, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Democracy 4 is by Positech Games. This game is in early access, so this game is not yet complete, and this gameplay may have bugs. In our last Democracy 4, we ended with being the President of the United States. So in this game, we are going to try to do the next country. The next country on the list is the United Kingdom. I know absolutely nothing about the political system of the United Kingdom, with the exception that the Queen is sort of like a figurehead of the government, and that there is a parliament and a prime minister. So maybe I might learn something. So we're going to try the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland usually consists of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. UK is a constitutional monarchy, effectively meaning that the monarchy is symbolic. The head of state is the Queen, but the country is governed by a prime minister, defined as anybody who can command a majority of support in the House of Commons. This is the elected chamber. The second, unelected chamber, called the House of Lords, exists to scrutinize legislation. So here are the stats of the UK. The population of the UK is 65.1 million as of July 2018. The size is 243,610 square kilometers. Ethnicity is 87.1% white, 3% black, 6.9% Asian. Religion: Christian 59.5%, Muslim 4.4%, Hindu 1.3%. Exports: cars, turbojets, crude oil, gold. Medication: most popular food is fish and chips. National anthem is God Save the Queen. The wealthiest citizen is Sir James Dyson as of 2020. So let's jump in and try our hand at being the Prime Minister of the UK. I know nothing about the political parties of the UK, so let's jump in and see what they randomly generate for us. Labour League. That sounds like they'd be very pro-Labour. We could try to be pro-Labour. We're going to be the Labour League. Prime Minister has a 5-year term. We're going to have a 3-party system. So the Labour League is blue, that's us. The United Republicans will be red. The Natural Law Party will be green. We're going to have compulsory voting, not mandatory voting, so if people don't want to vote, that's fine. We're just going to play as how everything is here. We're starting off with a debt of £1,798 billion. Prime Minister has 5 years, and this will be the first term of our first year. Congratulations on your election victory. Welcome to your new job as Prime Minister. The lives of all 63,046,000 citizens are now in your hands. As you will imagine, there are a number of situations and concerns that you will need to deal with as soon as possible, while keeping an eye on the long-term improvement of our citizens' quality of life. Plus, do not forget that you face re-election in 5 years, so you will need to monitor the opinion polls in our party membership. Good luck! We're starting with a decent GDP. Health is up. Education is unemployment is in a good state, crime is not, and poverty is in a pretty good state. At the recent election, your party won the majority of 10%. This will give you some political power to implement your policies. Let's begin the term in office. I have to keep telling myself I'm playing the Labour League. I have to pretend that I'm going to implement policies that have to do with labor. We have a problem with organized crime. We have a problem with respiratory illness. We have a problem with obesity. We have a problem with uncompetitive economy. We have a problem with skills shortage. Let's take a look at our ministers. We got 4 that aren't really happy. Let's take a look at the welfare minister. Poor and parents, motorists and parents, socialists and trade unionists, and socialists and motorists. We're probably going to be a lot of trade unionists. Take a look at our policies first. Workers on boards. Unpopular with capitalists who fear workers will basically vote themselves higher pay and shorter hours. Socialists and trade unionists see this policy as an ensuring company works for its employees as well as its shareholders. This will bring capitalism down. Trade unionists will go up. The working week will go down. Socialism will go up. Socialists will go up. Trade unionist membership will go up, but productivity will go down. The introduction cost of this will cost 12 to 14 political capital. It will take no quarters to implement. It costs a lot of political capital. Yeah, we're going to try workers on board. roads. And it's not going to cost us anything. We're going to go all the way to the end. We just used all our political capital on boards. Let's hit that button and see what our second term of our first year will be like. Okay, let's see how we did. GDP is down. That is not good. Doesn't look like anything else budged. Budget report. The government is currently running a budget deficit of £16.48 billion. We should take steps to reduce this. The cabinet report. Loyalty of your ministers can be described as loyal. Their effectiveness is generally adequate. Government is not popular amongst its citizens. Only 3% intend to vote for you in the next election. Economic forecast. Good news, the global economy is doing well and is having a positive effect on our GDP, even though our GDP is down. There is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. Controversial march. An extreme right-wing political group is planning a march through our capital city. This group has strong racist tendencies, and the police are convinced that if the march goes ahead, there will be violent confrontations between the marchers and the people who will show up to oppose them. The police recommend banning the march. Ban the march. The police have given us good enough reason to ban this march. We must take into account the views of the vast majority of our society who do not want or need the violence and the trouble this march will cause. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom to riot. Ban this march. Allow the march. One of the basic freedoms of our society must be the rights to freely assemble and put forward a political view, even if it's unpopular or a minority view. The marchers are only expressing their views, and the opponents are free to make peaceful protests. It is an awkward situation, but banning a political demonstration is a very dictatorial thing to do. We will allow the march. Being part of the Labour League, I would want to be allowed to march if I had qualms with how things were running. Crime's up 7%. Liberals are up 15%. The racial tension's up 31%, and they don't view me as a strong leader. We're having a problem here with the uncompetitive economy. We need to do something about this economy. Our GDP went down. Let's take a look at what we need to do for the GDP. We have a skills shortage. Now, I would probably be concerned about that. Businesses tell us they simply cannot find enough skilled and trained people to employ. Modern economy is increasingly skill-based, and our citizens aren't educated enough to take their place in the modern workforce. This is going to have a negative impact on the economy. So we need to do something, maybe perhaps with education. Is there anything over here we can do with education? Public services, we'll look here. University grants. Although not all citizens will pursue university education, governments can provide subsidies to students to encourage a more educated workforce. University grants can also ensure equality of opportunity, as in their absence, the cost of a university education can be beyond the reach of a working class family. We could do this. This will cost all of our political capital, but in the long run, it will lower the skills shortage issue. Let's try to implement this. We're going to do grants for poor students because that's all we can do. Let's apply that change. We are out of all of our political capital. I'm wondering if we need to shuffle our cabinet because we didn't have enough political capital to spend. Let's hit that button and go to our third term. And I'm going to take a look at our cabinet. We're in the third term of our first year as Prime Minister. The GDP is down yet again and crime is up. Okay, this is definitely something we're going to have to address. Perhaps we have to address crime. I don't like that crime is up. Budget report. There's a budget deficit of £21.91 billion. We need to reduce spending or raise taxes. Security briefing. The Liberal League says it actively encourages its members to oppose the current government. Oh yes, their threat assessment is a 6. They have 2,501,167 people as members. Polls report. Our government is not popular among its citizens. Only 6% of them intend to vote for you in the next election. Well, that's up from 3%, so that's doing pretty good. Oil drilling opportunity is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. Oil companies are keen to get permission to drill for oil in part of the country protected as a wildlife refuge. Oil supplies under the refuge are considerable, but drilling would have a negative impact on the environment. Allow drilling. There are literally billions of barrels of oil right there in our soil. The current law is preventing us from drilling. Instead, we are importing oil from other countries. Environmental impact will be minimal when you consider the gains that drilling makes in terms of energy security. Nobody wants to spoil the environment, but the alternative is reliance on foreign oil. Prevent drilling. This valuable wildlife refuge would be devastated by oil exploration. This is one of our nation's great national treasures, and it would be criminal to wreck it just to boost domestic oil production. Drilling in this part of the country will entirely remove our dependence on foreign oil, but it will spoil our natural environment for future generations. I'm going to prevent drilling because this is one of our nation's great national treasures, so we're not going to wreck it. The environmentalists are happy by 6%. The capitalists are not happy by 4%. Crime is up, so let's address crime. We're also going to look at our cabinet ministers. Oh, this one right here. I'm firing her. Goodbye. Alright, so let's see who we can hire for the economy. Ooh, look at this guy. He's a liberal. Liberals are sort of happy with this at the moment. He's middle income. He's got a 2.2 for political capital. Who else do we have? Henry Torres, Conservatives and Socialists. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with Ben Bailey. He's got the decent loyalty, middle income people. Let's hire Ben Bailey. We've got 12 political capitals. Let's take a look at crime issues. Cryptocurrency. The adoption rate of cryptocurrencies are traded over the internet. Well, let's see what we can do about that. We need to raise some money, and if we can tax it, we can generate some revenue. Cryptocurrency taxation. Oh, we do not have enough political capital to do that. I would love to do that, so we're not going to do that. Law and order. We need to do something with this organized crime. Yeah, there was something the intelligence services. Intelligence services. Security services are an essential tool in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. I want to get our organized crime down in this country. Good, reliable intelligence can be difficult and expensive to obtain, and in many cases the methods employed can be unpopular with liberals and human rights advocates. We have a sizable spy agency right now. It's not very popular with the voters, but we can raise it to up to 2, and we'll apply this. We have 10 political capital. Let's see what we can do with the income tax. One of the most popular ways to raise money with the government is a direct tax on people's earnings. Well, I am a labor person, so I don't know if I want to do that. So I need to generate us some money. Let's take a look at military spending. We're lightly defensive. We can't lower our military spending anymore. Nuclear weapons. We have submarine-launched nuclear weapons. Well, we are an island. Let's take a look at some tax policies. This would have an effect on our GDP. What is this enterprise investment scheme? Oh, this would raise our GDP. Enterprise investment scheme is a system which gives tax breaks to the wealthy individuals who want to invest money in small startup companies which are based in this country. The scheme encourages investment in companies which should eventually grow and stimulate the economy, whilst at the same time giving a popular tax break to people who invest in them, obviously indirectly. The scheme is being subsidized by those without savings to invest. Let's do this. This will take 3 political capital. We can raise it to about there. We have 3 political capital remaining. Trade councils would improve international trade. Let's implement this. We'll implement it too high. We have 1 political capital. Unexplained wealth orders. A break with the normal assumption that innocent until proven guilty. Unexplained wealth orders allow prosecution where a wealthy individual cannot explain where their wealth comes from. Controversial but effective policy against career criminals who are clearly profiting from crime but have covered their tracks well. Yeah, we'll do this. Lower organized crime a little bit, and I'll apply the change. We have 0 political capital, so we did the trade council and we focused on crime, and I hopefully did a few things with the GDP. In our 4th term, we're going to have to focus on taxes. So let's hit that button and see what we need to do. Here we are in our 4th term of the first year as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. GDP at least did not go down. Crime is not down or up. Our credit rating was downgraded. Major international credit agencies have downgraded the status of your government debt. This is likely to have a knock-on effect on the GDP as foreign companies become wary of your investing in your economy. It will also result in the interest rate we pay on our debt rising. There's a good chance that this will upset our capitalist voters too. You should take action to regain credibility ratings with agencies by reducing the level of debt as soon as possible. Your current credit rating is now A. Capitalists are not happy by -5, GDP is down -3, and business confidence is down -15. Our polls report. Polls do not look good. Our last poll put us at 12% of the vote for the election. Well, we're up from 3%. Budget report. The government is currently running on a budget deficit of £24.82 billion. We should take steps to reduce this. Yes, we should. United Nations Security General. One of our prominent diplomats has been appointed Security General of the United Nations. They will become the spokesperson and leader of this powerful global organization, acting as a world moderator. The Patriots, we've gained plus 10% with. Everyone is plus 5% happy. Foreign relations is plus 7%. Ooh, tonight's headlines. For 3 generations, Diana Anderson and her family have run a small, well-regarded food manufacturer making candy for children and selling it all over the country. It's a competitive business, but it's now stretched to the breaking point as the company struggles to absorb the price rises caused by government junk food tax. We cannot stay in business with this tax, she tells us through tears tonight. I know the government is concerned about obesity and health, but the consequences are devastating. They've lost my vote for sure. They are a family and they are a working family, and it's been several generations, so maybe we can lower that and raise it somewhere else. We need to make money. Security briefing. The Liberal League has been criticizing your government policy on the radio. They're down a bit. They were 6, they're now 5. You need to raise tax. We still can't do cryptocurrency taxation, which I would love to do. I need to raise money. So we're going to tax tobacco. Tobacco tax. Despite the failure of tobacco companies to admit it, there is a good reason to believe that smoking has negative effects on health. This is used to justify for taxing tobacco. Cynics point out that the government benefits hugely from a tax of a product it is supposedly against. Health campaigners encourage the tax as a way to encourage a more healthy population. We do need to work on our respiratory disease in this country, and so therefore we are going to tax tobacco. Apply the changes. Yes, we'll use 8 political capital. We have 5 political capital remaining. Let's see what else we can tax. Tax it all. Do an alcohol tax. Yes, we can do an alcohol tax. Alcohol tax. Medically, there's a clear case for the government to tax alcohol in order to discourage consumption because it is a negative effects on health and possibly linked to social breakdown. On the other hand, those who drink socially see the government benefiting from such a tax as hypocritical. How much would it generate? It would generate at least 15 billion. We'll apply the change for 3. We have 2 political capital to spend. I'm trying to get our tax situation better. I said I was going to lower junk food tax. Is that what I said? Let me take a look at where that is. Junk food tax is a punitive tax charged on unhealthy foods such as takeaway hamburgers, fizzy drinks, and high sugar or fat content pre-processed foods levied with an aim of improving health in the nature but can be unpopular. I'll lower it a little bit. I'll lower it to about there. We have 1 political capital to spend. Maybe we can do something with healthy eating to counterbalance that. Do free school lunches for the kids. The last political capital. We are at the end of our 4th term of our first year as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So I am going to end our episode here. Thank you so much for stopping by our Cricket House. If you like what you saw, feel free to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to continue to see the future episodes of this series on Democracy 4. Any input really helps us out. Have a great week. See you soon.